Hi class, I'm going to talk about the standardized testings. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is called the MSCA, the McCarthy Scales of Children Ability. It's a psychological test given to young children. This test measures intelligence along with any delays in cognitive and non-cognitive areas through different subtests. So it helps identify problems in learning. And this test is usually administered to children from ages 2 up to 8 years old. The following one is called the Peabody Individual Achievement Test, also known as the PIAT. This is a test that measures 5 content areas that can be used or can be administered to any student between kinder through 12th grade. It is individually given by a trained examiner, and it tests in areas of general information, reading recognition, reading comprehension, mathematics, and spelling. The following assessment it's called Stanford Binet Intelligence Scale, and this test detects any delays and mental retardation in individuals as early as 2 years old up until adulthood. The following one is achievement tests. I chose the National Reporting System, also known as the NRS. This measures achievements in preschool skills and the effectiveness of the Head Start program in children of 5 to 6 years old. The Head Start program is a program that was created for children, usually of low income, between ages 3 and 5. So what this does is it measures the effectiveness of it. Like, are they actually learning at such a young age? Are they ready for kindergarten? Things like that. Tests for young children. So young children learn differently. They learn a lot more different than adults and than even older children. They learn by interaction, experiments, and hands-on activities. Most of the time they learn by playing as opposed to traditional paper and pencil. So technically a one-size-fits-all assessment will not work out for young children because they develop differently and at their own pace. So an example that I can give is, let's say you have 2 kids. You have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, yet they're from the same parents, same mom, same dad, same family history. They develop differently. Maybe your oldest started walking at 10 months while your youngest started walking, at 12 months, 13 months. So they all develop differently and in their own pace. I believe the best form of assessment is one that tailors to that young child and gives them the best outcome. So many factors actually take a toll during this process. A properly administered assessment should be one-on-one, meaning the child and the teacher, and it should be administered through a course of a few days due to their short attention span. So for example, you can have, let's say, a 4-year-old sit in front of you for 30 minutes while you're going over, the test or the assessment. They'll lose focus quickly. As I actually had a previous assignment that I had to interview a teacher. When I spoke to a preschool teacher, she was telling me about these forms of assessment to where she has to sit one-on-one with a child. And if she has a class of 18, 19 students, she told me usually it takes her about 2 weeks to complete it. So meanwhile, she has her co-teacher or her para helping her out while she's getting these assessments done. So in reality, the rest of the children are kind of losing a little bit of teaching time, but they have to get this done. So now this slide is just images of teachers with their students doing individualized assessments, like I mentioned before, to where your student and you, the teacher, are, there by themselves. It's best to do it alone to where the students aren't easily distracted, so they can, stay on the ball and actually focus on what, they're being assessed for. And one challenge I mean, it's the only one, and I think it's one of the biggest ones that I'm still a little bit confused on is how do teachers assess, every student in time? Like what happens, or what happens if they don't, or they don't, do they each have like the proper time frame to do it in? Do they have enough time within, whenever it's due? Like how do they do it? Pretty much is the main question. And then the final page is just my references, what I use to go ahead and help me out with this PowerPoint. Thank you and have a good one.